Hello, I'm doing a, Hello, this is Sacrificial Lamb. I am doing a Brawl Stars best build slash tier list sort of thing. I have many hours in this game. Last time I checked, I had 726. As you can see, I've gotten relatively close to 30k. So I have quite a bit of experience, and I think I can give pretty good answers. I have every single brawler, and I've played them a decent amount, except for maybe Eve.
How do you like your eggs?
I have an idea of how Eve's, how Eve will go. I think I can kind of guess which will be her best build. Anyway, starting off with Leon. So personally, Clone Projector is good, but overall, Lollipop Drop is just better. The invisibility field, very versatile. You can use it just about anywhere. You can use it to tank damage, which is very good. Brawlers that can drop something down to tank damage for them, it's very useful. Invisi-heal, it's just so many stupid things you can do with it. It just makes you immortal, basically. Showdown, just camping in the storm, basically. Like not camping on storm, camping in storm. It's so silly. Damage gear and the shield gear. Overall, the damage and shield gear, they're pretty like one size fits all. Like they are super good. And they work on every single brawler in the game. So generally, damage and shield gear is what you want to go for on just about any brawler. However, Leon, like I might still go for the shield gear, but speed is a good thing to think about. Sandy,
Nap time!
Sweet dreams. Do I have to say anymore? Unless, of course, you don't have Sandy, I have no idea what this does. It's a stun, essentially. It's basically just a stun. And if you have any idea how Sandy's attack works, that big cone that can just hit like an entire team at once, it's so good. I personally like to use his star powers are it depends a lot on personal preference, I'd say. I personally like Rude Sands because it prevents healing and it shows enemies in bushes, but healing winds, like playing with a Sandy who has healing winds as another person, I really like it when they're using healing winds because that healing is so useful, it's so nice, it's just a good benefit for your team, but it's really personal preference. Speed on Sandy is super fun to play. Like I said though, damage, shield, always good. Mortis. Combo Spinner. Now, the difference between Combo Spinner and Survival Shovel is Combo Spinner is instant damage, and Survival Shovel is damage over time. Now, Survival Shovel technically does more damage. However, Mortis is an assassin, and he benefits so much from instant damage because the amount of time it takes for him to reload, even with Survival Shovel, it's going to be difficult for him to, like, there's a lot of times that, because when you go to attack someone, you either have to go for a hit and run, or you have to fully commit. There's no in between. You cannot attack someone and run away. You have to just, you can't like fully commit and then start to run away. You have to either go in for the kill, or you have to hit and run. So, Survival Shovel is good for that sort of hit and run, and it will do more damage over time. However, it's generally more useful to use Combo Spinner, because when you're out of ammo, you can just use Combo Spinner for the quick kill, and you will take less damage. And if you are taking less damage, then that means less opportunities for people to third party you, less opportunities for you to die instantly after, less supercharge for that brawler if they're gonna respawn after. It's basically taking less damage. I mean, it's it's really a no-brainer when you look at it that way. Creepy Harvest, I don't really have to say anymore. Damage on Mortis increases his healing from his super, so that's a no-brainer. Speed could be good. Resistance could be good. I actually feel like all the gears could be good because he's relatively tanky, so he could get some value off of the health as well. Moving on to Belle.
Gotta secure the bag.
Belle, I haven't played around with reverse polarity a lot yet. I feel like it could be useful very nichely. It's a fun star power. It increases your range a lot. I definitely think it could be useful. I just feel like Nest Egg is better overall. However, on like more long-range maps where you're kind of just going to be poking at the enemy team with like snipers and stuff like that, you're not really going to get a whole lot of value out of Nest Egg, so reverse polarity might be a little bit better on that. However, usually maps, when it's come to that point where you're just sniping back and forth, there's not really a whole lot of walls to be bouncing off of. So, honestly, it kind of goes either way. Positive feedback, it's basically like a near infinite 20% shield. There is so little time you will not have that shield up. It's so good. Like I said, damage and shield is probably the go-to on every single sniper in the game. That's it. Moving on to Fang. Fang. Corn Fu is super duper good. It allows you to scan bushes. It does a very surprising amount of damage. It stops healing. It's just chip damage in general. It's super duper good. You can actually get, I've found you can actually get a lot of like finishing kills with it. However, Roundhouse Kick, I'd say, is a bit more versatile, especially if you plan to play him Brawl Ball. If you're planning to play him in Brawl Ball, Roundhouse Kick is a must-use because it's a stun in Brawl Ball. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. So I'd say Roundhouse Kick is a bit better overall. Divine Souls. When I first saw the star power, I'm just like, 500 damage, that's nothing. And then I thought about it more. Think of all the brawlers in the game. Especially super strong ones like Belle, stuff like the brawlers like that. 500 damage taken away from their attacks is a really big difference. Belle does 1560 damage at power 11. 500 damage reduced by taken from 500 damage taken away from that. That's only 1060 damage. That's pretty much a 33% damage reduction, which is crazy. And a lot of brawlers, I'd say a lot of brawlers average out to doing like between maybe 1400 and 1700 damage, if I had to say just off the top of my head. So reducing 500 damage from that, you're not going to be taking a lot of damage. So I'd say Divine Souls is very good. And another reason why it's better than Fresh Kicks is because Fresh Kicks, you usually want to use his super as a starter, not a finisher. Because when you use it as a starter, you just fly in on a bunch of people, you hit them all, and then pretty much as soon as you get out of that super, you can pretty much almost instantly hit them with your attack. I think that's just like an animation thing, but the damage numbers come out really close. So it's good to just be able to super on someone and then just quickly kill them. And because I unlocked Fresh Kicks first and had to play around with it for about maybe like a month, playing Fang in that time, I did not get a lot of value from his super using Fresh Kicks. I did not find I was recharging my supers a lot. It did happen sometimes, but it wasn't often. So Divine Soul is definitely better. I'd say shield, damage, speed. Actually, all of these I'd say work on Fang because he's a close range brawler, so resistance and speed work very well on him. He's tanky, so health works well, and then, like I said, damage and shield. Extremely versatile, works extremely well on every single brawler. I'd say Breakthrough is generally the better star power. It's just, you can break walls, you do a little bit of chip damage, which doesn't really matter too much, but it is there, and you're just breaking walls. It's really good on a brawler like Stu. I'm sure you've been in those moments where you're facing a Stu, and they get their super, and they press up against the wall, and they give you that stupid look that every single Edgar, Buzz, and Surge in the game gives you, and they're just like, gotcha! So yeah, it's pretty good. Speed Zone is also good, but I would only consider using it in like a team mode, and even then, I probably wouldn't use it. Zero Drag is... It's really difficult for me to decide between Gasso Heal and Zero Drag, because I feel like Gasso Heal is generally the better star power, but you can pull off so much bullshit with Zero Drag, so I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna say Zero Drag pairs well with Breakthrough, so we'll say that. Spike, Life Plant, unless you're playing on Heist, Life Plant, it's like I said earlier, brawlers that can place something down to block damage for them, it's always good. And the 1000 health gained from that when it gets destroyed is also really good. Though oftentimes you won't be getting that benefit a lot, I found, but it is there and it is useful. I like both Fertilize and Curveball pretty equally. When I feel like I'm gonna be like playing really aggressively, I usually go with Fertilize, like in Brawl Ball, we'll say. Because in Brawl Ball, oftentimes, you throw your super down on someone, then you walk into that super, you just wail on them with your attacks, and you're healing during that, so it's pretty difficult to die. However, Curveball, you hit more shots, and it offers better bush scanning, so it's really a tough call there. I'd say shield, damage, maybe speed, but shield and damage. Crow, defense booster for solo, showdown, slowing toxin for any team mode. Solo showdown is all about survival, rather than, back when Showdown Plus was still a thing, it was not just all about survival, it was just get kills, but now it's back to being all about survival, so anything that can help you live is good. Carrion Crow, use it for Showdown. Extra Toxic, generally better for team modes because it helps your teammates as well, though usually your teammates won't be helping you back, but it helps your teammates out as well.
This is so lame.
Edgar, well, I mean, I think the best builds for him is just removing him from the game, but hardcore can be useful. Hardcore can be useful unlike some team modes. I feel like Brawl Ball, probably better. Heist, because you can just wheel on the safe, you have extra health. Stuff like that. Maybe Bounty, though usually, I feel like in Bounty, it might be a good decision to also just be able to instantly charge a super. I don't know, it's really whatever call you want there. And then Let's Fly. Now, Edgar is best played in Showdown. And Let's Fly is crazy in Showdown. So I'd say Let's Fly is generally his better star power. Fisticuffs, when they buffed his base healing, like I never really liked Fisticuffs. I always thought Hard Landing was better because, like I said, you just like I said for Mortis, it's killing enemies quicker, as opposed to just healing back more of the damage you're taking. Killing enemies quicker usually leads to less damage taken overall, but then they buffed his healing on hit for whatever reason, and now when people use the star power and you're fighting them, it's like they just can't die. It's like, it's so weird, because I'll be playing like Daryl or something, someone who should just be easily able to beat him, and all of a sudden, like, I'm losing all of my health and I'm not dealing any damage to him. Like, I'll use all 3 of my ammo with Daryl, by the way, and it's just, he's just sitting there with like half health. I don't understand. Why won't you die? So Fisticuffs, probably better.
Don't call me honey.
B, Rattled Hive got buffed and nerfed to the ground so many times. Honey Molasses is just better. Both of her gadgets kinda suck. Honey Molasses is just a bit more versatile and also provides, you can also tank with it, so. Instabilo, a lot of people sleep on Honeycomb, but I like to point out that it does have uses, because you can just attack, or you could wait a little bit to get that damage reduction for like a single hit or something like that. It's 30% damage reduction, and you can pretty much pick and choose when you want it, so it's useful. Usually you just want to be firing away though, so Instabilo, I'd say, is a bit better. Also, it compensates if you miss, so it's a bit of a crutch as well. Surge, he only has one gadget, and whenever they release his second gadget, I think people will still be using Surge, Power Surge, because it's so rooted in people's minds, like with Buzz and Edgar, that you can just press the button and then you're on someone's face and then you can just kill them. It's so funny because if I see a basic surge or a red surge as I call them, every single person who is a base surge plays the exact same way and has the exact same amount of brain cells. I have not seen a random who is using red surge who actually plays well. I have never in my entire time playing this game. It's actually crazy. They all play the same way. They are all, the stereotype works every single time. They will teleport on you. They don't know anything. The only thing they know is pressing the gadget button and pressing the attack button, and then just using up all their gadgets, and then all of a sudden they have no idea what to do with all their gadgets. It's, oh my god, they are so stupid. Anyways, Service Code, Colt, use it for team modes. It's really an obvious choice there. To the max, I'd say use it in Showdown. And for Surge, I would definitely use damage and shield because he's squishy and he benefits a lot from damage. Shelly, Clay Pigeons, it's obvious, honestly. Band-Aid for solo Showdown, which is usually where you want to play her the most, but she is actually pretty decent in team modes. Shell Shock, you want to use it for team modes. Speed, distance, stuff like that, because she's a close-range brawler. She actually doesn't benefit a lot from health, because she doesn't have too much health. So damage, shield, stuff like that. So I'd say probably damage, speed would be your best star powers. Actually, definitely speed, because star powers? Gears. Definitely speed, because you don't really want to be playing her on maps that don't have pushes.
Another
Rift.
day, another dollar.
Only one gadget. It's a really good gadget. Keep the change all the way. The difference between a Griff without the star power and a Griff with the star power, sorry, is that a Griff with the star power will be attacking faster, reloading faster, hitting more shots, dealing more damage. It's as simple as that. Because when he's not using the star power, he unloads really slowly and his attacks come out really slowly. So he's almost like Pam in that it's actually decently. Oh, jeez, sorry. Oh, it's coming down to me. But up close without the star power, it's actually like pretty easy to dodge his shots, almost like Pam. So always use keep the change. I've never used business resilience in my entire time using Griff. Never. Shield damage. You can make an argument for speed. Gale, Twister. It's just a no-brainer. Playing Map Maker, you might consider using Spring Ejector, but usually you can also cheese things with Twister, so. Freezing Snow and Blustery Blow are two really good star powers. I'd say Freezing Snow is probably a little bit better, simply because Blustery Blow is good because you can just lock enemies in place, deal a ton of damage to them, and usually kill them pretty easily. It's very good in Showdown. But Freezing Snow, you're going to be hitting more shots, generally, and you're also slowing down people for 0.5 seconds every time you hit them, and he has like a pretty impossible to miss attack, so yeah. For Gale, I'd probably say damage and speed, or damage and
Ooh, you got destroyed!
Rocket Fuel, generally, usually always want to use it, unless you're playing Map Maker, in which you might want to use Rocket Laces. Also, Rocket Laces, though, there are a lot of moments where it will save your life. It is a lifesaver gadget. Keep that in mind, but Rocket Fuel is generally better. If you're playing Heist, use more rockets. Anywhere else, use rocket number 4. Oh,
The box goes boom!
Like I said, with snipers, because Brock, he's a sniper. Damage, shield. Tara, Psychic Enhancer is useful. Support from Beyond is useful. I'd say Super Support from Beyond is a little bit more useful. Especially in Heist, stuff like that. But Support from Beyond is really good. I really like Black Portal. And Healing Shade can be really good and really frustrating to play against. But Black Portal, think about it. You hit someone with your super, they get dragged into the middle, and that shade gets spawned in the middle. So now they have to get away. The shade is faster than every single brawler in the game. So while they're trying to get away, say, like if they're trying to get away from you on one side, and they're trying to run away, and they have to go through the shade in order to get away, that shade's probably going to hit them 1, 2, 3 times. And that shade does 800 damage each time. And her super does what? 1160. If you're power 11, it's probably does closer to 1300 if I had to guess. So that's a big damage boost just from this star power. Healing Shade is really good. Lola,
Ready to shine!
Freeze Frame, honestly, I feel like it's a bit more versatile than... Well, actually, no. Stunt Double and Freeze Frame are both really good. Freeze Frame, I feel like might be a little bit better because that your ego is so tanky. It's actually crazy. Stunt Double, you could make a lot of plays with that. Improvise. I have never used Shield with Kiss in my entire time playing Lola. Improvise is crazy. A lot of people are just like, oh, well, it's generally not really the best idea to only be conserving one ammo. Usually you want to be like having a little bit more than that. It's not the fact that you want to be staying at one ammo. It's essentially just a 10% damage boost overall. Because you go to attack someone, you have your 2 initial attacks, and then your last attack just does more damage. And if you're attacking off of reload, which you might be doing because she doesn't have like the fastest reload, and you might be in like a tough situation, it's just a flat damage boost. So it's just good. There's no other way to put it. It's just so good, and she's already super damaging. So, damage on an extremely high damaging brawler is like it's overkill, but it's jeez. I'd say speed might be useful on her, but shield is probably a bit more better. Carl. I like Flying Hook, very versatile, but Ejector does do a lot of damage if you can get the full damage from it. Power Throw, pretty much always use Power Throw. You could make an argument for using Protective Pirouette and like Heist, but other than that, Power Throw. You're just gonna be throwing attacks faster, and I mean, that's just basically more damage. My cats are beating each other up because one of them is a prick. I am back. Alright. Carl, probably damage, shield, damage, health. He is pretty tanky. Let's see. Penny. Penny, Captain's Compass. Overall, it's the better star power. Provides a lot of cover if someone's like right on top of you, and I just kicked you off. My cat is being an ass. What was I saying? So it helps when bros are on top of you, like very close, and it just gives you cover. Pocket Detonator is also good for those reasons. It's just not gonna do as much damage, and you also are using up your tart for it. It does synergize with Blast, but not enough to warrant its use, I'd say. However, Pocket Detonator does blow up walls, so if you're playing on a map that has a lot of walls, or if you're playing Penny in Brawl Ball for whatever reason, I'd say use Pocket Detonator. Balls of Fire, I really shouldn't have to explain. Damage, shield.
Let your spirit soar.
Bow, both of his gadgets suck. There's really not much else to say about it. It's really just personal preference. Snare Bear, 90% of the time you want to be using it. On really bushy maps, obviously use Circling Eagle. I'd say damage, shield.
Potential
Byron.
satisfaction guaranteed.
Shot in the arm is really good. It lets you get back in the fight quicker. Usually it's not going to be a lifesaver, but it can be. However, booster shots can deal a ton of damage close range and a lot of healing close range. And even if you're not close range, which you really shouldn't be playing Byron, it has a large area. So basically, imagine a Byron shot, which is already really hard to dodge, is already really annoying to dodge. It's just very, Byron is very pesky. Now imagine he fires 3 at once in a cone. If you're in the middle of that cone, you're not gonna escape being hit. So it's just more chip damage off of the chip damage he already does. And it's just going to annoy and pressure enemy brawlers. Injection. I don't have to say anymore. Malaise is good, but injection. Malaise is very situational. Best use on tanky brawlers, best use against healers. I'd say damage, definitely, because damage also increases his healing. And definitely shield, because he's a sniper. And, well, also low HP.
Did I really do that?
Now, I've heard, actually, Kairos, I believe he said that the gears only affect Meg while she's in her base form, not the mecha form. I don't know how true that is, because I haven't personally tested it out myself, obviously. But if that is the case, then you probably want, like, speed and resistance, or speed and shield, just so you can, tank more hits and try and get that super. Force field, 100%, use it, it's so good. You can make, an argument for using heavy metal in, like, Brawl Ball, but that relies on enemies killing you while you're, like, right up next to the goal, which is pretty probable, but it's still pretty niche. So force field, I'd say.
Musical mayhem.
Poco. Tuning fork. If you use protective tunes, get out. Get out of this game. Quit the game. Get out of my lobbies. Get out of my teams. Please. Stop using protective tunes. It sucks. It's just Frank's gadget, but worse. Tuning fork. Always. If you're playing team modes, Da Capo. If you're not playing team modes, Screeching Solo. Simple as that. I'd say you probably want maybe speed and damage, or speed and shield. Poco, aggressive, like damaging Poco, is much better than a lot of people think. I remember I pushed pretty far with Poco in Solo Showdown one time, which was interesting. Dynamite. Satchel Charge, the only real benefit from using Fidget Spinner is the speed boost, which is useful, but not as useful as Satchel Charge. If you want to be a meme, or if you're like Dynamite Jesus, then use Dynajump. Any other situation, please just use Demolition. And my cat will not stop being an asshole. Cat, stop. Please, I'm trying to make a video. I'm getting sabotaged over here. Alright, Demolition, it's 4,000 damage on a super. That's enough to one-shot a ton of brawlers. Just use it. I'd say damage gear, shield gear. Colette. Now, everyone knows how Colette is. She does not have a whole lot of consistency in her damage and consistency in getting kills. gives her consistency. If you see someone at 1700 health, or I don't know what it is for power 11, if you see someone at 1700 health, pop the gadget, you just one-tap them. And that's very useful on a percent damage brawler like Colette, that relies so much on dealing base damage and constant damage. And Gotcha is good. It's just that it's not going to be good 100% of the time, like not nowadays. And it's just really situational, honestly. Like, if you're playing against tanks, sure, you're like immortal now, but what's really the point? I mean, like, yeah, you're getting a lot of healing, but usually you want to be playing mid-range, where you're only going to be outranged by snipers, and if you're going to be outranged by snipers, then you're not going to be getting the healing anyway. I don't really see what's good about it. So, nah is better. Push It. Push It allows Colette to be good. So, Colette can 3-shot every single brawler in the entire game. 2 attacks, and then a super, and she will kill every single brawler in the entire game. Push It guarantees that you can pull that off as long as you hit her super, because her super hits twice. It hits at the start when she's rushing, and it hits her. It hits again when she's coming back. So Push It grabs the brawler that you hit and shoves them to the end of your range. That does a hit, and then when she's coming back, it hits them again. So it's the guaranteed double hit. So as long as you can hit those 2 beginning shots, and then you use her super, not only will you instantly recharge, not only will that lead to half of her super being charged, leading you to do 2 shots, which will charge another super, and another super, and another super. It's a cycle. So that just allows her to kill every single brawler in the game with the same amount of hits. I cannot overstate how good this is. Never ever use mass attacks. I've tried to use it in like Map Maker, where you can like try to get invulnerability. It almost never works. It just does not work. Never really use mass attacks. Just don't. Colette, damage is the most important gear for Colette, because it increases her base damage, which she needs so desperately. So always use damage no matter what, and I'd say probably shoot. Nita, Foxfur, I don't know, I'm American, is good, pairs well with Bear With Me, but I'd say Bear Paws is probably better because of that stun. And I like Bear With Me in most game modes. In Heist, you definitely want to be using Hyper Bear, but Bear With Me, it just makes her bear tankier, and that's the only really thing the bear is good for is tanking damage and wailing on a high save. So when you're not wailing on a high save, he's going to be tanking damage, because he's so slow. Every brawler outruns him. So you're not gonna, like, it's just, there's no point in putting Hyper Bear when you're not going, it's not gonna be used. So go with Bear With Me, and then all of a sudden it's, your bear is, all of a sudden Bruce is so much tankier, and he can heal you. It's just better. Also, Super City Rampage and boss, it's broken because you can just I'm sure a lot of people know that strategy. For her, I'd say damage, shield, or damage speed, stuff like that. Colt. Now, Silver Bullet, very good, breaks walls, there's bushes. Probably good like 60% of the time. Speed Loader is versatile, always good no matter what. Good on heist, like heist maps that don't have a lot of walls. I would use it. But overall, I use Silver Bullet. Now, his star powers, it really depends, because you can, Colt is probably requires some of the most skill in the game to play, because you have to learn how to hit his shots. And Slick Boots helps with that, but it requires a different playstyle. And Magnum Special, I personally hit a lot more shots using Magnum Special, so it's really personal preference. If you really want to go pro, I think Slick Boots is better technically, but Magnum Special, highly recommend. Damage, he does so much damage, why not just increase it? Shield. Kick. Last Hurrah is good, 50% damage reduction, an explosion, stuff like that. Brawl Ball, want to be playing him with this there. My Mania is also really good, it's just more mines. But, I mean, it's better in like heist, but it sort of depends on like whether or not there's like tight spaces on the map, stuff like that. Overall, Last Hurrah is probably better. Automatic Reload, while it seems like such a small buff and it's not really noticeable in game, trust me, it's there and it is helping you greatly. I'd say pretty much always use Automatic Reload. Well-Oiled is really annoying to play against, but I can't really justify using it. And I don't actually know if Well-Oiled pairs with the health gear, but even if it does, you probably don't want to be using it with the health gear, because one, it's just like a little bit of extra healing, and two, he doesn't have a whole lot of health, so you're not going to be getting a big benefit from the health gear. So, damage, shield, damage, speed. EMZ, or EMS. Friend Zoner, you want to be playing in Brawl Ball, want to be playing it when you think you're going to be facing close range brawlers. Every other time, probably want to use Acid Spray. You can shoot through walls, it's just good. Always use Bad Karma, pretty much no matter what. So you can make an argument using Hype in Brawl Ball, since you're going to be getting the full benefit a lot more often. But Bad Karma is so broken, oh my god, because not only are the hitboxes of Ems's attacks so strange and so stupid, but like the extra damage you get from this, it's just, oh my god, it's ridiculous. It's so frustrating to play against. Damage gear, because why the hell not? And then either speed or shield, I'd say.
El Primo!
El Primo. Why are you playing him in the first place? Suplex, it's a meme. It's useful, I guess. Asteroid Belt breaks walls, is useful, like 40% of the time. It really just go either way, it doesn't really matter. I personally run Suplex. El Fuego, pretty much always want to use El Fuego, even in Brawl Ball. You can make an argument for using Meteor Rush in Brawl Ball. Gears, probably want to use Health. speed, damage, stuff like that. Daryl. Tar Barrel be good in Brawl Ball. The recoiling rotator is very good to use because it charges up your super. So it's really your call. I like recoiling rotator, but I also like Tar Barrel. So it's like, yeah, it's really your call. Pretty much always use steel hoops unless you're playing heist. Health is really good on him after the buff to have the health gear. Other than that, I'd say probably damage or speed. Gene, always use lamp blowout. If you use vegetable spirits, just like with Poco, get out of this game, get out of my lobby. Magic puffs if you're playing with teammates, spirit slap, anyway.
To the rescue!
Buzz. Once again, the best way to play him is to remove him from the game. He's literally just Edgar, but with a stun. There is barely any difference between them. Eye Sharp is by far the better star power. Tougher Torpedo is useful, because a lot of times when you stun someone at close range, they break out of it pretty quickly. So, this makes stunning people at close range, like twice as effective, which is really good. But, Eye Sharp is just the go-to, because you get to you get to charge your super from further away. And the entire point of playing Buzz is to sit into the entire point of playing Buzz is to sit into a corner and just sit there and watch people for like 30 seconds while you charge your super, and then finally using it, and then probably dying instantly or just straight up missing. Speed, damage, stuff like that. Cam. Pulse modulator if you have teammates. Scrap sucker anywhere else. Mama Squeeze, I like it a little bit better. Lets you use it offensively, yet lets you use it to scan bushes. Which is always cool. Scanning bushes. Mama's Hug is good, but I like Mama Squeeze a little bit better. Also, 800 damage per second while you're in there. That's a lot. Speed, she might be able to benefit from it. I don't actually really know on that one. Health, damage.
Don't mess with the ball!
I really like T-Bone Injector, but Stomper's really good. Personal preference, I'd say. Always use Tough Guy no matter what. If you're using Berserker, why? Just why? Like, you can make an argument for it on, Heist, but even then, just use Tough Guy. Speed, health, damage.
Don't mess
Jesse.
with Jess.
Recoil Spring, I like it better. Spark Plug is really good. Personal preference, I'd say. Energize is really good. Shocky is really good. Once again, kind of personal preference. Maybe Energize is a little bit better, because oftentimes when you use Shocky, your turret just gets like one tapped and you don't get any value out of it. And then other times, it's like an enemy Jesse puts down Shocky, and all of a sudden, like, no matter what, your high save is just getting melted. Damage, shield probably. 8-bit. 8-bit, extra credits. You want to be using it in Heist, which is probably the strongest game mode. Cheat cartridge, probably anywhere else. Always use Boosted Booster. I cannot understate how powerful Boosted Booster is. Because back when the change happened, people were just like, oh yeah, let's still use plugged in because, oh yeah, he really needs that speed boost. No, he doesn't. 8-bit is probably one of, if not the strongest brawlers in the game. Just that no one likes playing him because he's slow. Oh, well then just use his plugged in star power then. No, never use it. This makes his this gives you a 15% extra damage boost on top of the damage boost that you're getting from his super anyway. That's 35% to 50%. 50% damage boost is absolutely broken. Never not use it. Please stop using plugged in. Always use booster. Other than that, probably use speed gear, damage gear, health gear, resistance gear. I don't really know if it would even be that useful because he's slow anyway, but slows, he basically can't move. So maybe they might be useful. Barley, sticky syrup mixer, and herbal tonic. It really depends. Herbal tonic can be good with teammates, but a lot of times it's really hard to stay in that area. Extra noxious, extra noxious. Probably want to be using it all the time, I'd say. Speed, damage, shield. Rosa, unfriendly bushes is just better. Overall, grow light can be useful, but unfriendly bushes is just better. I personally really like thorny gloves because, think about it. Plant life, right? It's 200 health per second when inside a bush. That's pretty good. But when you're in a fight, that's 200 health per second when you're fighting someone, which isn't much. It isn't going to really heal you that much. And then when you're not in a fight, it's also not going to heal you that much, and then your natural regen is just going to heal you up all the way. So it really doesn't do much. Realistically, it's only maybe like a 600 damage shield. And that's only when inside bushes, and it's a shield that applies over time rather than like a base shield like Fang's star power. So I like Thorny Gloves because that's a ton of extra damage per punch. So it really helps with just mowing people down once you get her super. You really don't want to ever not play Rosa on a map without bushes. If you are playing Rosa on a map without bushes, what are you doing? So always use speed. Pretty much always use damage. Health is pretty good too. Rico! Bouncy Castle, always use it. Even if you're on heist, just always use it. Robo Retreat pairs really well with the damage gear, but Super Bouncy is also really good. Really depends on the map. Robo Retreat is a bit more versatile. Damage gear, like I said, pairs really well, and it's also just good overall. Speed gear could go well, and shield. Jackie. Hardy Hard Hat, I just like it a little bit better. It really depends, but Hardy Hard Hat is probably better. 20% damage reduction. It's good. They nerfed it so many times. I don't understand why. Like, there's not really need to nerf 20% damage reduction. It's like, it's good, but if you nerf it, it's bad. So just keep it where it is. Speed gear, I'd say damage, health. Piper. I'd say always use homemade recipe, except if you're playing Brawl Ball for whatever reason. Then use auto aimer. Maps with a lot of useful bushes, mind you. And just like a lot of bushes in general. Like, if it's a good sniping point, sure, use ambush. If there's a lot of bushes, definitely use ambush. Other than that, use snappy sniping, because you're shooting more, which is just a lot more damage in general, because you're shooting more. I'd say speed, because it pairs with ambush. Damage, shield. Probably damage shield is the better option because she's a sniper. Frank. Why did they make him do double damage with irresistible attraction? Why did they do it? Never not use as irresistible attraction. And I only ever used Sponge to get Frank to 10,000 health. But now that his base health is 9,800, and once you get into Power 11, I assume it's probably going to be 10,000 health or around there. There's not really a point of using Sponge anymore, honestly. So just use Power Grab. Power Grab is just better. It's a 50% damage boost, on top of the 100% from his gadget, on top of 20% from the damage Gear. My god, I can't speak. Sorry. Speed, damage, health, because he has the most health in the game. He's gonna get the most benefit from that in the entire game.
Mr. Bat says hi.
BB, always use extra sticky. Vitamin booster is really good. Always use extra sticky. Batting stance is really good. Home run is really good. Really depends. If you're not playing on a map with a lot of bushes for whatever reason, use home run. If you're playing a map with a lot of bushes, use batting stance with your speed gear. Because then you're getting kind of the best of both worlds. Other than that, damage. I like damage and speed, honestly. Nani. Always use return to sender, no matter what. Always use autofocus, no matter what. There's a lot of bullshit you can pull off with tempered steel, but it's pretty hard to pull off. Damage, because why the hell not? And then shield.
Free energy!
Max. Always use phase shifter. We do not need tracer in Brawl Stars. Just don't use sneaky sneakers. It's literally just tracer's recall, but infinitely worse. Run and gun. I mean, it's really personal preference. I prefer run. Damage, shield, probably. Mr. P. I like porter reinforcements. But didn't they change? Oh no, they didn't. Wait. I thought they changed one of his gadgets. I don't know. Perhaps not. Porter reinforcements. I'd say just waste ammo, annoys the enemy. Right. Revolving door. I'd say handle with care is pretty good. That's a 40% explosion boost. 40% explosion boost, explosion damage boost, but that's every 4 seconds, so it's like, So I'd say revolving door, because the porters have more health, they're doing more damage, so it's more annoying. Damage, shield.
Commencing assignment.
Garden mulcher, generally better. Transplant is useful if you mess up. Overgrowth is so annoying to face. I'd suggest using it. But photosynthesis is also really good. If you're using like garden mulcher, photosynthesis, actually if you're using photosynthesis at all, use the speed gear. Other than that, use damage or like shield. I would recommend damage though. I would recommend damage on pretty much every single brawl in the game. Squeak. Wind up and residue are both kinda residue might be a little bit better because it just kind of has a little bit more versatility, but other than that, it's like chain reaction. Always use it. It's a 10% damage boost, flat out, and if you get more enemies in it, it's even more damage, and you almost never hit enemies with your super. Damage, shield, Amber. I like Scorching Siphon. It just helps her because her her reload is so slow, and Scorching Siphon really helps with that. But Wild Flames is really good. Speed gear, I'd recommend. Damage gear, shield gear. Cryo syrup is just better overall. Ice block could be useful, but I'd say just use cryo syrup. And you can pull off stuff with hypothermia and cryo syrup and it is good. It's just not like crazy good. So I'd say super cool is probably better off overall. Damage, shield.
Delta team,
Colonel Rush. Take cover is just more versatile. Like, air support is really good because it forces enemies to move out of the way and knocks enemies around a lot. Covers a really large area, but other than that, it doesn't feel very rewarding to use. And take cover is probably just a little bit better. Air superiority is straight up better. Allows him to destroy walls, which is useful. Adds 1,000 extra damage, which is useful. Field promotion is just, it's a dumb meme build star power. Damage speed. Also, they changed Ruff's so that he does more damage with his attack now. I suggest that they bring his launch unload speed back, because that would be a significant buff to him. It would make him really good, because he kind of sucks. And it would make him unique again, because he was so unique before. Because he was a support, but he was an offensive support. He was like just push everyone, and he stood a chance by himself. It was so good and it was so satisfying to play. And then they got rid of it. What were they thinking? Now he's boring. He doesn't feel the same. He doesn't feel as unique. He's not the same. Bring back his old attack speed.
I'm so manky!
I'd say Chill Pill is probably better overall. Rotten Banana, I feel like that's way too much health. Just for the 40% rage. I could be wrong. And then I like using First Bash. Just because it gives you an instant rage bar upon hit. Mad Attack is pretty good though. I'd say speed, damage, healing, health.
I am teaching, but you are not learning.
Watchtower is really good. Use it on maps with bushes. Radio check, use it anywhere else. Watchtower is probably a little bit better. Radio check is useful. And I am so sad that I got Foot Patrol before X Factor. It's so unfortunate. The game giving me X Factor last, but don't have it. Wish I had it. It's better. It's a 30% damage boost at max range, but it's basically just a straight out damage boost that changes how far away it is. So it's just a flat damage boost. Just always use it. Never not use it. Damage, shield. And now Eve. When her second gadget comes out that makes her little babies heal, I feel like that could be useful. Maybe not as useful as her first gadget, so probably stick with her first gadget. Unnatural Order is really good on long range maps, so if you're playing her on long range maps and like Bounty, I'd say probably play Unnatural Order. But when her second star power comes out, oh my god, that is going to break the game. Use it as much as possible every other time. Oh my god. Damage, and she's squishier than I expected because she's in this like big mech thing. She'd be tankier, but shields, damage, and then that's it. That's every single brawler in the game. Hope you enjoyed this video. Consider liking, subscribing, stuff like that. You know the usual. I'm just being the stereotypical YouTuber. Maybe watch more of my content. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here making videos for fun, and sometimes I got views, which is cool. Alright. Bye.